Yay! Welcome everybody. This is 5D Full Disclosure. My name is Georgie Boy. This is a live seminar for 5D quantum healing. So basically we have a collaboration of people going on right now. So letting people in on Zoom real quick. And then thank you, angels. We are going to record this. Give me 1 second. Where is the record button? Oh. Record to the cloud, right, Aurora? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Recording in progress.
All right, beautiful. Terry, letting Terry in. All right. One second. And we are live now on Telegram. Cool. All right. How's everybody doing today? So this is basically a live seminar for everybody. I'm not sure where everybody is as far as letting Candace in real quick. Not sure as far as where everybody is on energy healing, your awareness, your wisdom base. I understand everybody on this planet comes from a lot of different backgrounds. So not to say that we know everything. However, we are moving into a new era, a new paradigm, a new age. However, that's going to change how the energy on this planet works. And so people who are used to old modalities or working with old belief systems or systems of energy healing, or just how things used to work on this planet, things have changed so much to where it doesn't align with that anymore. And as we keep climbing in collective consciousness and vibration, it's going to keep changing what's possible in this reality. Therefore, we as the humans, as the beings that are actively every day participating in this experience, need to keep leveling up, need to keep expanding, need to stay with the status quo, so to speak, creation status quo. So this live seminar is basically just to explain a lot of what this is about, to help you all understand wherever you're coming from, your backgrounds, that everyone pretty much has a niche in this. Everyone has a capacity for energy. One, because we're all energy, purely. It doesn't matter what if you're physical or etheric, an idea, a concept, a feeling, an emotion, or something physical like a rock. It's all energy, pure energy. The state of matter can change at any moment. Of course, this depends on your consciousness, right? So everyone has a natural capacity for it. Everyone is attuned to this if they choose this to be, part of their experience in life. And all of it really depends on your interest. How much you love yourself, how much you wish to heal yourself, get your life back on track, solve your internal issues so you can have a more balanced, harmonic life, experience all of this. So basically it's pretty much resonant to everybody on this planet. If you wish to take that next step in evolving yourself and moving forward. So basically this entire quantum healing system is a collaboration and an evolution of everything that has already been on this planet. I know through my experience personally as a being, I've gone through a lot of different stages with Santeria, Voodoo, a lot of work with Reiki. I made it all the way up to certified Reiki master in Reiki healing. And I also delved very deeply into other different spiritual practices. One of the things that kept me able to bypass getting stuck in the belief systems is I had a lot of lack of respect for systems and authority. Therefore, I did not respect the teachers or what they were sharing. More so, I was after the information, right? And this allowed me to, of course, in a lot of different experiences, before to advance and expand my knowledge base and understanding and how energy works, and also how going back and forth between different belief systems, different sets of values, and how people saw things, I realized it's all energy. It all interconnects. And of course, there's different perceptions, there's different ideas that people have, how energy works, how it looks, how it embodies itself, and that's fine. It's all part of imagination. It's all part of that childlike innocence where it can co-create with creation, and anything can be possible. Intention is everything, however, right? So in this state, going to this level where I'm at now, and where I feel we are already on this planet to move to the next phase, is the sense of self-empowerment. Because one of the things I learned through all these different stages of growth is that understanding the energy, understanding how you connect to life and reality, how you are interchangeable with it. Nothing can replace you. It gives you a sense of irreplaceableness in this life. It gives you a sense of stability and foundation and a place, a purpose in creation, which is very important because many people on this planet are lost. Many people on this planet don't have a sense of purpose in themselves or something to devote that loyalty to. And without that, you cannot generate a mass amount of energy. It's impossible. Therefore, the intention, thank you, angels, the intention behind this healing system is to give that piece of empowerment back to creation, back to humanity, right? In the sense that you are not following some master around for years. You are not devoting yourself to someone else's perceptions of what you should be or do in your life. You're not giving yourself constantly outside externally just to obtain a healing for yourself, right? We are bypassing all those levels of old paradigm and we are going straight to the core. One of my favorite subjects. Let's get to the root, right? Cut to the chase. What's the point? Because ultimately, when you get to the point, we can move forward. All the other surface stuff is just a waste of time. And that's what humanity has been doing through the years and through the different generations of learning spirituality and learning how they can heal themselves and level up, but also disempowering themselves. Because the few who did catch on, the few who did get it, ultimately fell to what? Ego, which is ultimately what we all have this on this planet, is ego. The entitlement, the wanting credits, wanting power, right? Wanting to keep it for itself. And that's what humanity has fallen to in a lot of ways throughout the generations, especially the spiritual community has fallen to that as well. Keeping information for themselves, giving little breadcrumbs just to keep the collective coming back for more because they realize it's doing something, it's changing something, it makes sense somehow, yet they need more. And the people who are sharing this information know that. And so it's a very narcissistic manipulation where they will knowingly, intentionally give you a piece of the puzzle, not the whole thing, because they also thrive off of being depended on. They thrive off of needing someone to come to them so they can save them, they can bestow upon them this grand information to change someone's life, and then to be held on a pedestal in this person's life as this guru, this master, this sage. It's all crap, all of it. And so we are crushing all of those old paradigm belief systems and all those visions and perspectives of how we gave power, respect, worthiness outside of ourselves to other people just because they understood something better than we did, just because they practiced a little bit more than we did, just because they got it a little bit more than we did. They're better at it. They can do it. I'll let them do it. I'll just support them and give them this. Meanwhile, that person now disempowers their experience. They are now unworthy. They are now at the mercy of somebody else outside of themselves to give them healing, clarity, understanding, and guidance in their life. Basically, you're a puppet to somebody else's whims. And that person, of course, has ego. So now you have to suffer that as well. You see, these are just very small layers and forms of how the collective has fallen into the spiritual hijack. where ultimately we're not healing each other. Ultimately, we're not sharing anything. We are stealing power from each other and keeping each other on this wild goose chase. What's healing? What's self-empowerment? How do I get there? How do I manifest that life for myself? And then you ultimately spend thousands of dollars on some stupid cruise trying to listen to every word someone's saying out their mouth, trying to get that hidden key of how to make your life that magical. And ultimately, it's not in them. It's not in any one of them. It's in you. No one's ever had the balls and actually the integrity to tell you that, much less show you that. Right? And so this is everything that we as a team have been taught and have been trained throughout the years. And also it's time for the collective to now make this gap, to make the jump in faith and also realize they have this power in themselves. It's time for you to realize your divinity in yourself and realize that you and only you have the power to make that choice and also embody that divinity consistently through your choice. No one else is going to tell you you're divine. No one else is going to tell you you're amazing and beautiful and powerful. They probably have said it your whole life, and you're probably one of the people that hate it the most. Because until you accept it, until you can be comfortable with the idea that you're more, that you can do more, you have more to give, that there is far more to you than you've ever actually conceived, until you can be okay with that and accept it, there's always going to be resistance. There's always going to be a fight. You're always going to want to be the lower one. You're always going to play the victim. You're always going to be like, oh, well, that's just not me. I have all these issues and phobias and different resistances and boundaries and all these different things, like you're some weak human being. And you know you're not. So this is that next step, to help humanity. And of course, this is not the whole collective in this room. This is not the whole collective in attendance. But of course, this is that first step of many, many steps that have already been taken for the collective in helping us piece back parts of ourselves and learn that it's all going to come from within, right? So this whole live seminar is basically of level 1, which is the first part of this course. And the first part of this course, of course, a big part of like energetic healing is a lot of times a lot of people want to do it for other people. It's one of the first hijacks you get to when you talk about healing with energy. They think about somebody else. They think about the world. They think about, their partner or someone else around them, their life, or the person they want, just to get their point. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to heal them so they can see what I'm saying. It's like, it's not about you. It's not about any one of us, right? It's about what's going on inside. And that's the first number one rule with energetic healing. It's for yourself first. You're not some powerful deity out here trying to fly around with storms and lightning bolts and trying to save the collective. No. You are here for yourself to save yourself first. If there's anyone you need to save, it needs to be yourself. Until you can let go of that savior programming, you need to save yourself and just be okay with where you are because you realize you're creating the story. It's all for you. All of it. So on this level 1 course, basically, it is to restore that empowerment for yourself, help people understand how they connect with energy, right? One of the biggest hijacks is like where energy comes from, how it works, how we connect with it. Is it my power? And it's like all this dominating energy, right? So we're clearing a lot of that, helping us understand where individually you, every single one of us, plug in to prime source creator energy, to universal energy, how it all works, how we can work with that, like living and breathing and drinking water and eating food every day and going to the toilet. It's a natural every single day process that the more focus and the more just acceptance into your life and working with it, it becomes a part of you. Because everyone is far more than physical. We are emotional, we are mental, and we are also spiritual. And that spiritual aspect has been suffering a lot within humanity in a lot of different ways. And restoring that part for yourself is going to do a lot of healing, right? Because a lot of people in the collective are lacking in faith, hope, compassion, unconditional love, surrender to the unknown. What is the unknown? Unknown possibilities, right? Is that comfortable for you to even feel into, have those thoughts? You know, where is your control and your struggle at with energy? When we talk about energy and connecting to the universe and everything else around you, it's not actually your body. It's not actually just inside of you. It's everything else around you. It's the mic, it's the phones in front of me, it's this notebook, it's the stones and crystals, the iPad, it's everything around me. It's all energy, right? And so if you cannot get out of this box in yourself where it has to be physical proof, you have to be able to read it and touch it and smell it and taste it for it to be real to you. If you cannot get out of that box, it's going to be very hard for you to understand your spiritual, energetic connection to everything else around you. You are far more than just that, just those physical five senses, right? And so this definitely is going to be a test for a lot of people, I feel. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people who are naturally attuned to this. There's a lot of people who are just accustomed to energy, and they either have the backgrounds, they grew up around it, their grandmothers or their parents were very accustomed to that background or taught it to them when they were young, whatever it is. But there are also going to be probably new people who are not used to this, not used to the concepts, not used to understanding anything beyond physical touch, right? Things that basically push you outside of your mind, and it's more about feeling, it's more about experience, it's more about sensation and perception, right? And going into the ideas and understanding that we have created things on top of them that are not true. How to dissolve that, how to get back to the root, the core, the purity in everything. Everything in creation is pure. It's pure energy. On this planet, the density and unconsciousness is not pure. We have that inside of us. We are also trying to manifest a higher reality. So, the physical body is the transmitter. It is the conductor of the energy and how it orientates the energy inside of it. If we cannot clear that, if we cannot understand that process, if we cannot gauge where we are and support ourselves individually, remember this is for yourself, not for everyone else. You're not saving around. You're not Superwoman or Superman. You're for yourself. If we cannot gauge where we are and show up for ourselves in that place and support ourselves energetically all the way through the process, there is no healing, there is no release, there's no transformation, there's no breakthrough. Ultimately, there's no evolution. All those things need to take place first before the expansion. And this is where we become masters. This is where we become more intuitive. We become more sensitive to what is going on around us and internally, inside of us, right? Because it's a constant motion. And so a lot of level one is to explain that process, help us understand and, really integrate with that. Understand how to work with tools. That's another fun thing I feel a lot of people will enjoy. I feel when it comes to tools, there's a lot of resistance or maybe belief systems or fears behind that. Fears of judgment or just the uncomfortability of thank you, angels. So the distrust of yourself. Let's just get to the core. Distrusting yourself is one of the big holdbacks of this for a lot of us, where we don't trust our own thoughts, we don't trust our own intentions, our own choices. And so unless someone encourages us, unless someone motivates us or someone, validates, hey, you should do this, we won't do it because we don't trust our own self doing it without that, right? This is another big jump for that too, So pushing past this with the tools. We're going to go through a lot of main basic tools that the team regularly uses. Even things that just, it would be highest or wise, behoove you to add it to your practice in different moments, when it serves your healing. But we're going to go through each one. We're going to practice each and every one out during the class. And I feel that would be really fun because a lot of people, we talk about things all the time, but when are we going to do it? Let's do it together, right? So, of course, we're going to go through alcohol. We're going to go through, marijuana and tobacco and all different kinds of things. And for the ones who are new to this, it'll be really cool to, your first experience will be in a group environment with people who are experienced, who have done it many times. It's not something that you have to be uncomfortable or get go into the fear with. Do with people in a very safe environment. I feel that's a very highest awesome thing to do. And I feel that'd be fun. It kind of like amps up the vibe. And who wants to do it alone? It's kind of like depressing when you're living like a new experience by yourself and all you have is your fears battling with you while you're trying to do it for the first time. We can all be in a better environment, atmosphere. We can, pump each other up, encourage each other, and actually enjoy the experience and learn from it a lot more versus the whole ego hijack and spin out process, right? We've been through that. Let's just move forward and grow together. I feel that's a, big key. So that's another big factor we're going to do for level 1 is go through that and learn how to multitask too. Work with each one of these tools while we're healing, going through the process, going through, whatever we're doing. It's important not just to treat each tool as a thing like I'm going to sit and smoke a tobacco, cigarette. I'm going to sit and smoke a bowl of, weed. I'm going to sit and drink a glass of wine or, a shot of vodka. Where's the multitasking? Where's the evolution, the multidimensional part of you? Why not do that in lieu of doing something else? The purpose, like working on something, creating, being, internal, reflecting on something while you're using the tool. Now it's automatically for something higher, right? And so we're going to do this together to learn and basically help everyone establish a behavioral pattern. I feel that's another thing that the collective struggles with. I know I massively have had to go through many, many layers of procrastination in myself over life. It's one of the things I battled in school. It just it ruled my life, procrastination. Never being able to push myself to do it even though I knew I could. It's such a sabotage energy. And if we can all support each other, be in the same space and, just establish the behavioral pattern together, do it together, show each other how to do it in the higher way, and actually do it in real time with physical action, immediately the body automatically starts recording. The cells immediately are already starting to fire off, and the synapses, everything is moving as you physically move your body in that action, right? There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of ideas, but until you actually physically do it, it does not actually anchor into your experience. And so why not do it, right? So that's another big part I feel really help a lot of you out there, especially if you're not around a lot of people or even in an environment that really encourages that kind of thing. I feel this would be powerful for you to have a solid foundation, a solid experience of love and amazing unconditional love and encouragement. First experience that's for you, and it just really will help you grow with a lot of your self-love and self-support. I know a lot of people have resistance to things, but ultimately your resistance is just your delay of your evolution. We are so multidimensional, so if you have preferences, if you have this and that, it's okay, what's really a preference? What's really is it a belief system? Is it a taboo? Is it a thing because nobody else does it around you, so then you don't want to do it because you don't want to stick out? What's really at the point of the preference, So we're going to help each other break down these walls and things, because ultimately if you have more tools accessible to you, your healing and transformation can be faster and more accelerated. If you're gonna limit everything to little 3 things and that's the only things you got, the ego can really hijack you and make things robotic for you at a certain point easily, right? And then you're just right back in the same boat. So why not learn to be creative, learn to be so flexible and fluid in your experience that you can just switch off with different things and learn just to move yourself through your experience in the best way you feel, the way you trust, but also being open to many ideas and opportunities, not just having the same redundant things every day all the time, because you're going to get bored. We all get bored very easily. We have a lot of humanity has short attention spans. So with the short attention spans, your attention is So you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it bright, got to keep it colorful, got to keep it interesting. So keep your options open, basically. Also with level 1 too, I feel just understanding working with symbols. I know with healing modalities, a big part of I would say understanding or establishing a relationship with the spiritual, with the divine, with the energetic part of yourself that is, on the other side that you are ever much a part of connected to. It's important, And so we're going to be working with a few symbols and learning how to kind of just... It's very interesting, and definitely I'm going to open up in a minute for questions, because I know I don't want to spread everyone very thin with stuff, but I definitely want to hear where you are with questions and things and answer those. But as far as the symbols go, it's kind of like that last piece of empowerment for yourself, learning that you have the power of choice, learning that you have the ability to, in any situation, empower yourself, that in any situation you are not alone, in any situation and experience you are in, you can always ask for help. And I feel that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people suffer and fight through with themselves, with their ego, is that despair and depression and just lack of being able to see the higher experience. They're left to their fears and the nightmares. And so being able to work with energetic symbols, understanding how it connects to the angels and the elemental beings, it's one of those first steps in that big relationship building with the divine, the angels, and really working with them in real time. And that's ultimately what's going to get to. I mean, there's 3 levels to this whole course, and ultimately towards the end, that's what it's going to get to is direct channeling these beings and working with them energetically in real time, being able to work with that energy and heal yourself, and also be able to share things with other people. We're talking about the full-blown thing. Clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, the whole 9 yards, you name it. This is going to go through the whole thing, right? We're not leaving anything out, but we're also cutting off all the extra just jargon, right? Focusing on the basic, pure, simple spiritual abilities that we are endowed with, expanding those, and letting creation come in and fill the rest in, right? And that's what we're doing. We're not figuring it all out. We're not putting 2 and 2 together. We're not trying to answer all the questions in creation, right? A big part of this whole course and this whole all 3 levels is understanding that this is all a very symbiotic relationship. Every step of the way. It's not just you, it's always you and creation. Every single step. You are a participant in this massive experience that we are in. And so everything as far as energetic healing, going forward with that, learning how to share that with other people, that healing and love, and even being able to move forward with your own spiritual abilities, is understanding that it's not just you. You're always a part of love. You're always a part of God. You're always a part of creation. And they always wish to participate. So also our belief systems, the box we live in our mind where it says these things aren't possible, they're not true, they can't happen, things like that just aren't normal these days. All of that has to go to understand that beings that are thousands and thousands of years old, literally lived longer and longer than the last couple of lifetimes you've lived, and they've been in one form. These are some of the beings you can connect with and talk to, that you can channel, that you can receive wisdom and insight from. And it even goes further than that. All the way back to the beginning. Understanding that time is irrelevant. It doesn't matter what year or month we are standing in, doesn't matter what time of day it is. Truth is truth, right? And how you can tap into that, how you can receive that wisdom and awareness for yourself, for you to grow yourself and keep evolving, all of it. It is incredibly empowering to do that for yourself and be able to know that you can do that. And that's ultimately one of the biggest pushes I am praying for with this, for everyone, is that they find a piece of that, if not more, and they grow with that. They pick it up and they go. Because that's everything that Mom ultimately wanted for us, is to be that empowered master that she created, that God has birthed into this life. Everyone is a divine master of love. Right? A powerful, energetic master. And so, definitely just, embodying that and being able to see that, understand that that is you, and working with that, Oh, one more thing. The unworthiness as well is another thing we're going to work through with everyone through as well, because the unworthiness is a huge block. Even before I came to Mission, even before I came here to learn about like the unworthiness programming, there's a lot of things what I fought with in 3D with learning through the energetic healing is if you can't consciously accept yourself in that, if you can't picture yourself in that space, if you cannot feel it, internally generate that energy and that feeling and emotion, it's not going to happen, right? And the unworthiness is a huge block to this, because ultimately you don't feel like it's for you. That's what that unworthiness is. You don't feel equal to it. You don't feel enough. You don't feel like it's for you. And so that consciousness, that lower frequency, is going to be something that you will fight with in your thoughts and your emotions a lot of times, with trying to understand and internalize a lot of these ideas and concepts. So anyways, don't want to get too far out. If anyone has questions or anything like that, let me know. Yes. What's up, Ashtar?
I have something urgent, therefore I have to interrupt you, sorry. I have really problems to understand you. The sound is not as good as usual. Maybe you can direct the microphone directly to the direction you speak, because it's direction.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is everybody else on Zoom having an issue hearing me?
It's probably not a problem for the
Wait,
native speakers,
let me give me hey Andreas, give me a moment. Is everybody else on the Zoom call having an issue with the sound?
I don't think so.
Well, give me a moment, please. Thank you. Andreas. Andreas, please give me a moment, brother. Is anyone else having an issue with the sound on the Zoom call?
No. The sound is good.
Okay.
But it is like a bit like you are in a big hall or something. I'm not able to understand every word, and then I can't understand the content. And sometimes you are too fast. I couldn't catch the introduction. It was way too fast.
It's fine, brother. Everything is recorded, so you can always watch everything back. Okay, so you don't have to get everything at first. So, we can just be stable and calm. It's all good. If you have any questions, please ask those. I can answer them. But as far as anything you don't understand, that's why I'm going to give everyone this time now. If you don't understand anything, if you're confused, please ask those questions, and I can answer them for you. But it also is recorded, so we can watch it back later as well. Okay?
I know. But I think it's probably because of the direction of the microphone.
It's on the laptop, so I don't have the ability to control the mic direction. But I mean,
I see.
Everyone else seems to have no issue with hearing the sound of my voice. But I mean, so maybe it's something on your end, maybe with the mic or something. Earphones will actually make it a lot louder.
You're clear. If I would be a native speaker, I have no problem. But due to the fact that I do not understand, and it's sometimes too fast, the words are not clear pronounced, and you speak like a native speaker, and for me it's sometimes too fast.
Okay, I can slow down. I can definitely slow down for you. Absolutely, not a problem. I just was confused. I was like, can you not hear me? But okay, coolio. All right. Any questions, though?
I'm German. I'm not American or English.
No, I understand. Not a problem, brother.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any questions from anybody? Ooh, Linda has a question. Hi, Linda Beautiful. I unmuted you. You might have to unmute yourself on your side, though.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. To check what the difference was between the quantum healing one, which is what you're speaking about now, And the Awakening 101, yes, what the difference was
The
between the two
difference between the
courses?
quantum healing and the awakening 101?
Yes.
I feel the awakening 101 is a different course that's being put on. It's not so the quantum healing is it's like a healing modality. It's basically teaching self healing, basically how you can restore yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually through energetic work. A lot of people
Okay.
know about Reiki or Qigong, or people practice meditation, like just different forms of energy work, of where you
Mm-hmm.
just focus a lot on the body and working with the body itself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any
And it's
questions?
yeah. Um. No, I think I came in a little bit late, and I heard you talking about we will be using tools, and you talked about you know alcohol, marijuana, but I suddenly kind of felt a bit freaked out hearing that, and just can you just clarify what you what you meant there?
Absolutely, and I feel that's definitely why the angels pinged me to include that in the level one part of the practice. Is because a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
have belief systems. There's a lot of collective, taboo and just no-nos about, alcohol or weed or tobacco or crystals. Even a lot of people in a religious, background don't
Mm-hmm.
really like
Mm-hmm.
crystals because the Bible says so, and just
Yeah.
different things like that. And it really limits your ability to understand what's going on around you and how to, you know, being on this planet, just to make things more clear, being on this planet in a war planet with suffering and poverty and war and fear, it alters our state of consciousness. It alters our mental state. And so using tools like tobacco and alcohol and weed, it in a way alters our mental state and consciousness back to a purer, less filtered state where we don't have all of those fears and ego hijacks that come in, where we shut down. We're more open, we're more vulnerable, we're more expressive, we're more, I would say, what angels? We're more encouraged and motivated to do things when we're not sober, when we're not, in an altered state. If we're just like normal, going to our work job 9 to 5 every day, we're in a very protective state. We're very shut off and guarded. We're very shut down emotionally and vulnerability wise. And not much of us is really expressed. And so we're learning how to work with tools to take off those layers of just what a mask is, that's not who we are, and learning to get back to the organic, pure expression, authenticity of who we are. And that's how we're going to start learning how to be happy. That's how we're going to learn how to heal. That's how we're going to learn how to manifest a better life for ourselves, is by letting go and cutting away all the illusions and the fears and the traumas and pain, and learning to be more assertive. What is it you want to manifest with your life? Right? And you have the power to do that, and learning how you can do that. That's important. And it's something that none of us truly were raised in our life and taught in school or anything. It wasn't something given to us. So we have a population on this planet that's massively disempowered and misinformed on how to heal themselves. And that's basically the intention of what this is.
Uh, okay, that a little.
What's that, love?
Um, I said I have to get head around a little,
Mm.
because because I guess my beliefs are around alcohol and smoking.
Right.
That is, totally kind of opposite to what I believe. I don't partake in drinking alcohol per se or smoking. And I see what I mean by sometimes when you have alcohol, that makes you more
Are you talking into
relaxed,
the
and
phone, love? It's very hard to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you more.
Yeah, sorry, I've got my headphones. I'm speaking from the UK and it's 1:45 in the morning,
Oh, it's
and I'm
fine.
trying to speak too loud, too loudly, to wake everyone up. Um, yeah, what, what I was saying, yeah, I know, once you've had alcohol, people lose their inhibition and free and relaxed. I understand for sense or we, how the euphoria and all the rest of it. I understand how that could make one feel, but yeah, it isn't something that I have taken part in myself.
Yeah. And
That's all
it's
the point I'm making. Yeah.
no, thank you. And just for everyone who couldn't hear that, I mean, basically she was sharing that, obviously she does have some belief systems, behind like alcohol use and different parts of those tools. And, it's important to express that we have that. A lot of people do. I mean, especially, depending on the state you live in, it takes a lot of things with your experiences. So, being in a safe environment where you can express those fears, those uncomfortability, ness with that, and also being in a safe environment where people are actually practicing that in a safe way to show us a better, it's one thing to do it by yourself with all the different fears and opinions and judgments, self-criticism of yourself, and it's better to do it with an environment where people can have fun and you can learn how to apply it in a higher purposeful way, help yourself grow, expand, learn. It's not something that you just need to stay away from or guilt trip yourself after having it for a weekend. It is a divine tool. It was something created and brought to this planet to help us break out of, the fears and belief systems we have. And so to do that, we have to alter our state of, perception a lot of times because it's not what we think it is. And we know that. So the tools are a very physical way to alter our mental state to where we can see things in a different way, and also we can get a different higher idea out of it. And that's all we need a lot of times to let go of pain, to heal and transform, is just to see it a different way. And once you do that, the rest is history because you're already flying, right? So it's really powerful to do that in a group environment with everyone and encourage that, motivate that, higher aspect of that, utilizing the tools versus, everyone seeing as like, alcohol or weed always, it draws drug, dealers, it draws policemen, it draws, problems and fights and things like that. Not really seeing it in that way. It's not, that's really truly how people handle it. That's how people use that. They use it in lower intentions. And of course, so we'll go through all of this and learn how to be, in a more comfortable, like, and use it in a more divine, dignified way, and definitely see it for higher purpose. So, and this is all important. It's all okay. And a lot of times, the things you express or the things that are holding you back are a lot of times the things that other people are fighting with too. So this really helps everyone advance together fast, and we can cover a lot of ground. With more people participating. So, yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions about anything?
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, love. Thank you. Any questions? It's a quiet room. Da-na-na.
question.
Yeah, go for it, Chris.
About a couple of weeks ago, I went through a serious ego death and mushroom trip experience. I haven't done it in a couple of years plus, like before I met Love is One even. So it's been a while. And that night that I did it with some people that I met from a chat on Telegram, basically I mixed it with tobacco, weed, and alcohol as well. So yeah, I was basically like spinning out, and then afterwards went through some experiences of an ego death. And I feel like it's still affecting me. I had any questions about if the angels have any guidance about that, like for healing or detox, or what to do about it, based on like how I'm feeling, how it's affecting me.
Well, I mean, definitely, I don't want to get off topic with what this live seminar is about. I mean, definitely, those are questions I feel. If you want to message any one of us directly after stream or somewhere privately, definitely we could probably answer that. But I want to keep this on topic for everyone so we don't get confused. But I hear you, definitely. But I feel that's something more of a personal conversation with some of us. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I love you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as the healing quantum, like, anyone have any questions of how the level 1 system is going to go? Anything we're going to cover in that? Anything around anything? This is personally for you all to basically have a better clarity, understanding on anything about energy healing, any fears, any resistances you have to even making that big jump. Because a lot of people, it's nice to think about. It's nice to, have friends that can do that kind of stuff. But are you that kind of person? It's kind of like that thing, like you never really imagined yourself to be that kind of person when we all are. We all are energetic masters. We all have the capacity and the ability to understand and work with that and have better, healthier lives because of that. So, I want to make sure that you all are clear, any questions are answered, and if you have any kind of fears or anything like that, please share them so I can, dissolve those with you and we can move on and you can be happier, more confident in yourself and motivated to face this and take it on. I would definitely encourage you to. Oh, there's comments. What's that?
I feel like something that some of us are fearful of is like our power, like facing the potential power that we have, or thinking that we're too powerful to handle and not wanting to experience that.
That's another thing we're going to talk about and cover it like during the course as well, is understanding the concept of power, and just like a lot of that is a lot of belief systems, and it's our own seeking outside of ourselves where we feel we can power over other people or life or creation, and that's not exactly how we manifest or how we're going to create a new world either too. But thank you for bringing that up, because that is something we're going to cover. I'm just reading some of the comments in here. I didn't realize that there was so many comments in the Zoom thing. I know y'all couldn't hear Linda on the phone. I did my best to kind of rephrase what she was sharing. Those types of tools are the power of one is not as positive looking. May there be anything more to say about intention concerning the work Excited for tequila use. And yeah, I mean, definitely, and when we get to that part of the course too, those of you who decide to join and be a part of that level 1 course, like, it's going to be a fully interactive course. So, any ideas, or if you want to participate in a certain, it's going to be fun. It's going to be like, BYOB, bring your own beer or bring your own drink, whatever like that. It's going to be a party. It's going to be fun, learning, expansive. We're not going to really, it's not some official, like office meeting with your boss where you got to like act the part and like sit with your back strip and like be all rigid. Like, no, we're going to be flexible. We're going to learn in a very fun, fluid environment, and it's going to be very expansive for a lot of us because that's what we're missing. We're missing the joy, we're missing the appreciation, how to cherish it, how to even like value that experience. I know I've fought with that a lot in my life, and through these different things, it's helped me really respect it a lot more. I also respect myself, my own energy, how to work with that, and also understand that in other people as well too. Understand other people. So this is a massive asset for everyone. I know a lot of people like, again, this crushes the old belief systems where people are like, oh, well, other people are smarter than me. Other people are better than me at this. It's like, no, it really is just all about the cognitive process with the brain limits, right? And with consciousness, we can jump this gap, right? I literally thought I was the stupidest person on this planet when I was younger. I'll kid you not, right? Consciousness is everything. Intention is everything. Vibration is everything. And with the thoughts and the belief systems and the energy, when that dissolves and it is moved out of the way, energy can break through organically by itself. It doesn't need any manual work. You don't have to control anything. It's literally about just getting out of your way, getting the energy out of your way, getting the blocks out of your way, and everything naturally does what it wants to and needs to by itself, right? And that's how divine we all are. That's how organic and just pure we all are. We just naturally plug into the universe, into Prime Source Creator, when we have our blocks and our energetic channels healed and cleared. The rest just works like magic, right? So that's really what we're getting back to, and learning that there is nothing outside of yourself that you need or that you constantly need to disempower yourself through. And that's where it's lost a lot of beings. And I feel a lot of people in the spiritual community have gotten burnt out over the years. I'm sorry, I keep looking at this screen. I forget that there's one right here too. It's a little crazy today. So that's what a lot of the spiritual light worker community has gotten burnt out on, I feel, is like the consistent, repetitive externalizing their power to other people, and it turns into this 5-year, 10-year, 20-year thing where they live their whole life with this guru or following this guru, and it's like, no, you missed the whole point. Absolutely. These things should never take this long for you to heal yourself or learn how to empower yourself and be this individual in life. It's quite simple, but if you're learning off the back of other people all the time, it's going to get that way. So I feel just getting this out there, and also this energy, to, this new idea and concept that you don't have to go those ways anymore. The whole paganism, Wiccan, and everything. It's time to let go of all those beliefs. And I say those, and I don't really care if it triggers other people, because it's kind of what it needs to do. Because I've been there. I was the one, looking through the books and everything like that, and following along. I'm like, you know what? This is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. And I realize that a lot of the truths and things in those are the same context, the same ideas, the same principles. They're shared in other modalities. So therefore, is it ownership? Is it respect to some old ownership type thing where it's like, no, it's all one. Creation has always been one. Energy has always been one. Life has always been interconnected with all. The moment you try to tie it down to one thing, the moment you try to own it, the moment you try to section it off and make it something else separate from, all ego. Not true, not pure, not divine. It is not what we are evolving into. And so I feel this is important to go through this basic process, to have a good solid foundation for everyone to understand, not to get caught up in these nets that have caught up a lot of the older generations. And because they did give their energy to it, they did invest themselves and their time and their money and their conscious thoughts and everything, and it burnt them out over the years and decades, because it didn't really amount to what they thought it was going to be, because they never gave it to themselves. They never learned how to give that to themselves and generate it inside. It always had to come outside, right? And so we are revamping everything, switching a lot of things around, and I feel ultimately this is what's, the intention is getting at, is we're making the big jump to self-empowerment, self-individuality. And if everyone on this planet can be a self-empowered individual, then together as self-empowered individuals, we can be a very powerful collective together, right? But if everyone is trying to pick up the slack from other people, if everyone's trying to carry other people or trying to save other people and exerting their own energy that they're not giving to themselves for other people, we're going to have a very short circuit thing going on, and things are not going to really come online and activate. So I feel this is also a very important principle to teach everyone, the value of self-respect and boundaries and learning to do things for yourself first before it gets to the bigger picture, even though we all are here for the bigger picture, right? It starts from the ground up, and once you understand that foundation and work with that in yourself, you are stronger, solid foundation and pillar of light to come through you and to be of a purpose to humanity and this planet during this ascension phase, which I feel ultimately we all are wishing to push ourselves and evolve more towards. So, any other questions before we end the stream, the live seminar? Does someone have their hand up? Oh, how do I do this? Laura, you have your hand up, love. Did you want to share something or talk?
I have a question.
Please.
So, I'd like to feel like I'm not the only human being going through this. So, please, someone else, if this has happened, please let me know. But it feels like I'm being influenced, or I can influence mechanical things and electricity. So the lights go, I drive underneath a street light and it goes out. Sometimes, it'll be up to 15 lights in one trip. In a 5-mile trip, 15 lights have gone on and off while I drive. Not the street lights, just the lamp lights, And, my furnace works, then my furnace doesn't work. The light switch, the light bulb, I fix the light bulb, the socket doesn't seem like it's going to work, and then I say to myself, that's not true, and I put another light bulb in and it works. Okay, I don't have enough gasoline. I have a miracle of, I call it the miracle of gasoline molecules. I suddenly have enough gasoline. Does anybody else have this? And if so, can you please speak to this? Because this is like my reality right now. Things are turning off and things are turning on, and I'm trying to remain sane, but I'm kind of cold because the furnace is not working right now. So,
it could be it could be a number of things, but basically the first two that the angels bring to the forefront is going to be the angel synchronicities. So, of course, angel messages, especially if you're not paying attention or you don't really give those experiences a lot of focus. When they do happen, you're kind of like, oh, that's weird, and you kind of go to the other room. If you're not giving them the attention it needs, then it's going to happen more frequently, because it's trying to get a point across. It's a message from the angels. It's a synchronicity to an idea or a thought you've had, or maybe you just did something and then it happened. So a lot of times when those synchronicities happen, you go back to what you just did the moment before. Did I just say something? Did I just have a thought? Did I just, feel an emotion and then that happened? And that's kind of like the angel's like, hey, light bulb, hey, look at this red flag. Let's pause for a moment. This is something to feel into, and a lot of times
it's like my ding.
Right.
It's my ding.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we move so fast sometimes with distractions and thoughts that we don't slow down enough to be like, well, what if it was something? And by the time we actually give attention to it, it's like weeks and days ago that we're like, it's so hard to feel into what we thought the moment before, what we were doing. It's, so, but then also too, another reason for that happening is also the amount of energy that we're generating inside of our body, okay? Through unprocessed thoughts, or just basically not expressing a lot of things or releasing energy. It's like you are a massive balloon of energy, filling up, and you are generating so much intensity with those thoughts, those emotions and things when you're not releasing it. And this is something we saw a lot of times with mom as well, that when she would build and generate a lot of energy and it was building, it would start to affect a lot of things around, right? Because it wasn't releasing. In a lot of sense, in our experience, it's because we're resistant to releasing, or we are not vulnerable enough, or we're not grounded enough to let the energy out. So if you notice like your phone starts glitching, or the lights and things start doing that, or complications with technology, a lot of times you're in a lot of rambling thoughts. A lot of times you're in a lot of emotional uproar at the time, or you don't feel calm. And so that energy is actually transferring to a lot of the technology around you, and it's causing disruptions. And it's a lot of times it's kind of like the angel, like, hey, like, calm down, take a breather, center yourself. Things are getting a little shaky. We're like, oh, okay, cool. And things will go back to normal. Your phone stops glitching. Your phone starts, it doesn't like flip out on you, going to different apps. And those things will happen to kind of grab your attention, because you'll go with it. We all will. We'll get hijacked with the thoughts, and we'll spend a whole hour on it unless something kind of like gets our attention and breaks that thought stream, that pattern. We're like, oh, okay, I'm going to go do something else now. So what's that?
Do you feel like this will be part of what you address, or is it just, I will tell you, when I talk to people in 3D, my energy is too much for them. They literally, their eyes wince. It's not like I'm yelling. They are recoiling, and they'll say it's too much, And goodness gracious, it's a tissue paper thin experience with me. If they really saw the whole Mylar balloon, I think it'd be a bit much. Okay. So I'm not really sure like what to do with this, because it seems to be how I'm built. I did see I told Bobby today, I saw a license plate that said, you can change. Literally, license plates talk to me. It's the wildest thing. I feel like it's Truman, for heaven's sake.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody else have this?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Lori, I was without heat for a couple of days this week. I'll just add that in there. And I actually took a different perspective with it. The person who was supposed to come and wasn't able to come because he got sick, and it went into another day. I actually felt energetically I was supposed to meet with the person who ended up coming, the backup person that we were supposed to interact and talk. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that is how it all felt. And yeah, definitely a lot of these things in license plates and all of that stuff, I feel are par for the course in a weird way. So yeah.
Thank you.
Hang in there.
Thank you.
Absolutely. This is definitely all the different types of things we will cover in the course, about energy, and a lot of times the experiences we have are, of course, because of the energy we are carrying in our energetic field that we carry into situations. So a lot of times how people respond or react is a lot of times in response to the energy that they get hit with when we come in to interact with them, and we don't really consciously understand or know we're doing that. It's something that we all do, and the better we get at gauging our energy and processing and transforming that, it's going to change your experience, how people interact with you, how they, everything, definitely, how they feel about you, or just kind of like the presence you have in a room. Definitely one of the biggest things I feel, with energy as well, is our thoughts are so rampant. We don't really give a lot of importance and accountability to the amount of thoughts we have, or how much energy we put into those thoughts. Because sometimes we know we have thoughts that are like little, they're just thoughts. And sometimes we have thoughts that are like, whoa, like they get a lot of attention, And so we don't realize what we're doing is we're generating and manifesting all kinds of different things, or projecting and things. And just really learning how to get a grapple on that, learning to pull that back, and not being so mental, being more heart-based, being more centered, being more body feeling. It's going to change a whole lot of things for everybody, how, they go about with their daily lives in a lot of ways, how you handle things, how you go about work, or how you even, when I say think, I don't mean like just using your brain. When I say like your new way of thinking would be a lot more feeling now. You're going to feel into it. You're going to be more intuitive. You're going to be more perceptive about things versus just mental thinking all the time, analyzing, logistics. So I really feel like giving yourself these other natural organic tools that our body naturally has inside of us, it massively gives you a huge advantage in life. It sets you up to be a better master and just be more powerful in your experience and more empowered in yourself, and less less of the ability for people to push over you, power over you, or to manipulate you, because you can discern that for yourself. You have the ability to perceive and feel and sense these things. And of course, I'm not saying this is going to be an overnight thing, but everything starts with practice. Everything starts with that first step, and so I'm perfectly willing to go through this whole thing with however many and whoever wishes to do this. But this is where my heart is definitely at, is the distress with the collective, chasing each other around, for empowerment and joy. Is like it's in you. You are the one that can do all of that. That's the magic. Is going to come through you. You have the ability to call on that, and it's not your magic, it's not your power, it's not your energy. And that's where everyone gets into the little funk. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's not mine, but then I can do it? It's like, right? So we're going to cover all of that. We're going to go through everything and help clarify so we have a solid foundation of who we are, how we connect to it, and what we can do. And just building that from the ground up, and that will give everyone more confidence, more trust, more faith, more motivation and encouragement in themselves, help spark off the inspiration and the passion for it, because now you have a solid backing for it that's pure and based out of love and non-judgment. And you're not giving your power to anybody. God is the one person you're in this relationship with the entire time, from day one on this course all the way through. God is the one you're going to be in a relationship with. Creation, your angels, love. And we are going to learn how to deepen this relationship and grow with it. It's the only ones outside of yourself you're really going to truly, have that energy exchange with. Everyone else around you, as far as a human being and a person, is going to be an addition, a complement to your experience, right? Your relationship with God needs to be the first, biggest, most powerful one, because that's how everything in your life is going to constantly manifest through, right? So this is a big, big jump for a lot of you, if not everyone, and definitely a refresher for some of you who have already been down this road, who have learned a lot of these things, but definitely just going back and refreshing everything. Why not? And getting just a clear view of where you are with that. If there's some things you've fallen off with, some practices you used to be really great at, but you just don't do those anymore, get back on the horse. It's time to support yourself a little bit more. It's time to push yourself a little bit more and actually experience the joy and actually appreciating the growth again. Because that stagnant plateau has gotten a little boring by now, hasn't it? And I feel we can all agree the boring plateau is it's just newness, new beginnings, the wow factor, surprises, the aha moments. I know that for the most part, through my years of learning through energy modalities and healing experiences, it is the most treasurable, most priceless thing in that healing for yourself, is when you have those moments of ahas where it all connects, where you just break through and you realize the deeper awareness and truths about yourself, and it's just it just makes you laugh, and it's so amazing, and it literally is almost it's just consuming. The ability how deeply you can go in yourself, and you're uncovering parts of yourself you never even met, and you've been you your whole life. That's something to say, and it's big. So I know a lot of you can resonate with that. A lot of you can understand where I'm coming from with that, and for some of you, it's something new that I feel you're ready for, that you're finally ready to breach that gap and learn that part of yourself. Okay, so any other questions about this at all from anyone?
I have a quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you know who I would be able to talk to afterwards tonight? To contact?
What did you say?
Do you know who I would be able to contact afterwards later on?
Anyone on the team. Yeah, just anyone on the team.
Okay. Thank you.
Squid says, command your light body to not interfere with electronic objects. Yeah, you can do that. And I mean, as far as and this is like a deeper way to look at energy, I feel, is, commanding things in present moment to do things, it's going to be for that present moment. But if it's an energy inside that it's, something that's constantly, transmitting from us, a frequency, a belief system, a doubt, a fear that we have, it's something you're going to constantly have to put that Band-Aid over, constantly commanding electronics not to interfere. And so what we're getting at with like the healing system, and I thank you, Squid, for sharing that, because this kind of like zooms in more on what this is about, is with this healing system is like learning to get to the core, right? Getting these different core things out of us to where we're not focusing our energy anymore on Band-Aids, on trying to cover our backs, on trying to, clean up our mess all the time. Why not just use all that energy for the highest ultimately, and not just have to play, control damage or damage control all the time? Why do we need a, emergency team all the time and ourselves to always show up and clean up the mess? Can't we just be responsible, accountable, powerful, intuitive beings, and just be healed already and just move forward? So, of course, that's everyone's choice, but, it is inspiring to think about. I understand that. But everyone has the potential to actually physically do it and be it, and doing it with a team, doing it with a group of people at the same time, it eliminates the factor of the fear and the ego kind of, psyching you out of it. Because a lot of times people don't want to do things by themselves. It doesn't feel good to do things by yourself. It doesn't feel like you're really getting anywhere a lot of times when you're doing it by yourself, because you have no one to really help support you or really like encourage you or motivate each other. A lot of times your ego is just going to want to destroy anything you're trying to build. So doing it in a group environment, in a community, helps eliminate that factor, and we can all support each other and really just be more stronger. Somebody has their hand up. Oh, Laura! You're like on the side of the screen, so I look over here. I'm like, oh.
It's okay.
Yes, love.
So it feels like as the timelines are smashing together into one, the lessons that I had before are repeating, and that the Band-Aid that you're talking about, for instance, I lived without heat for 4 years. Mm-hmm. Okay? It was not a pleasant experience. I feel like this is an echo back to that moment where then I can scoop up the lessons that are necessary and let go and forgive myself for my lack of attention and move forward. So it's like a clean up on aisle 13, if you will. I don't know.
No, it's so true. And also, just as a side note, that we are also, as present moment in this month, we're going through a lot of cycle breaks. And so, as you just said with your own words, it's a lot of stuff coming back from over the last couple of years that you didn't quite clear, didn't quite transform or forgive and let go of. So they're going to play out for a few moments right now intensely for you to get that point, let it go, and then once you do, it will change for you quick, okay?
Thank you. It feels like the end of a roller coaster when they spin you to get into the home base to get off the ride.
Yep. That's a breaking of a cycle right there. Thank you, love, for sharing that. Anybody else have anything to share? It says I have 5 new messages on this thing. Let me scroll down. Oh, Facebook? Angels say I have Facebook. Anyone ask anything on Facebook? Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Vubi, for sharing the comments from here, because I didn't have it on Facebook in the beginning. Yeah, I don't see any other questions for anybody. Let me check Telegram real quick. Anna says, how to explain tools for connectivity to those not awake. 2, how to access ethers in a pinch without tools. 3, how do we approach each other with our codes to share? I have felt like both ends of the spectrum, underestimating the interests and foundational content. Definitely, we can cover and a lot, and through these courses as well, it's going to be fully interactive. So all these questions, I definitely will be willing to answer during the course, but it is what it will cover. You know, if you have tools, if you don't have tools, learning to multitask and using other different ways if you don't have certain things, but also as well, you know, how to interact with other people, how to connect with the ethers, with the etheric, with your angels, your higher self, with God, with the galactics, and earth beings, unicorns, dragons, you name it. We're going to cover it all. So it's going to be really exciting and fun and just magical for everybody because, you know, it's boring. It is literally black and white, grayscale boring to do this ascension process by yourself alone, literally in this physical, mundane world, and that's it, right? But the fact that these things are real, the fact that God, all of creation, the angels, everything is real. The elementals, the unicorns, dragon, they're all real. You can tap into them right now and connect with them right now. Talk to them right now. Feel them right now and receive healing from them right now if you wanted to. That's how real they are, just like if I were to tap into you. How your energy feels to me is the same way a dragon feels to me if I tap into a dragon. If I tap into the galactics. Your energy feels very similar to theirs, just different in certain ways. But there's really not a big difference as far as like you being a physical body and them not right now. And that's the block in our brains that tell us what's real, what's not real, what's possible, what can happen, and what can't. Right? And that's what we're shattering. That's what we're breaking through. And so we'll cover that definitely through level 1. And then you're going to have to, in order to be able to channel other beings, to be able to like open your vessel and your heart to another soul and be able to trust and love and, you know, to share that bond. It's a big expansion and it's fun. It's amazing. It's empowering to know that you can do things like that. It's empowering to know that you're not alone. It's empowering that you can connect to anything in creation and you're not just in your room the whole time. Your world can be everything. Right? Your ideas can go beyond this planet. You can receive ideas and just different, you know, like concepts and just wisdoms from beings who have never been here before. And because they've never been here before is the reason why it's so powerful of an impact on an idea, because you will never think of it in a million years being on this planet because they didn't come from here. You get it? We are all here to help each other. We are all here to help each other grow and expand and change in a lot of different unique ways. Even just with working with energy, understanding how plants, you know, sing and talk to each other, how you connect with flowers and the trees outside, connecting to the planet, you know, the grass and the dirt and the soil, you know, stones and crystals, understanding that each crystal and stone has its own consciousness. It has its own vibration, its own soul essence, which is different from another rock, which this rock has different knowledge from this rock over here, right? Everything is so multidimensional, it's so big and expansive, and a lot of times we walk around in life just bypassing it all as if it's just like this basic thing, and it's not. It's like literally there's a whole creation of information in there, a massive universe of life recorded and willing to share with us if we know how to connect to it, if we know how to work with that, if we know how to grow with that, you know, because many things in life are not this, you know, press a button and get it. Many things in life are not this read a page or an essay or a book and just understand it. Many things in life you have to grow with. You have to experience through living it, and only then will you actually intellectually, internally understand it, right? So this is what we're covering, all of that. You know, the basics, the inner workings, all of that. You're breaking all the mysteries of it all, you know, and we're just having a pure understanding, you know, where we stand with it and moving forward. But yeah, Like, I hope that answers everyone's questions. Working on lone wolf programming. Yeah, Squid. I mean, and a lot of us had that. Honestly, a lot of us who are really sensitive, perceptive people, we fight with the lone wolf programming because a lot of times that's what we would do out of a survival, mechanism. Is we will put that guard, that wall up, and just do it ourselves. Have our own experience, our own lifestyle. Don't want to live with anyone. Just want everything to be my own space. To control, of course, but also because our distrust in other people, how different we felt from other people and how sensitive we are, how different we think or feel from other people. We just felt like it was better to have our own space, our own way of doing things, and living a life like that. Ultimately, it does set a lot of wedges between you and humanity, people, and just how you interact with people. So it's good to break that lone wolf programming and to be in a group environment, learning with a bunch of other people. You don't have to be the lone wolf anymore. You don't have to be the underdog. You don't have to, go your own way. You can be in the same place as everyone else. We can be equals together, and we can learn together and be okay with people not understanding or knowing certain things, and it's okay. Right? We have to get out of the whole thing that just because you didn't know that means something bad. That we're all children. Children don't know everything. They're just completely okay with that. They don't have a lot of grudges towards each other. They're just like, okay, we're just gonna move forward. Like, I want to have fun. So that's what we're returning to, that childlike essence of just joy, being happy, just being like non-attached. Right? Everyone obviously is coming from a different background. Different places in trauma, different fears, different understandings of how things work. So this is good for us all to get it all out, dissolve it, get on the same page, and then we can learn and grow with the rest of it without having to fight our egos and any reserves that we have at that point. It's already dissolved, it's gone, it's over with. Now we can learn from a pure place of innocence, of childlike joy and wonder and pure imagination, and we can really, really gain a lot of ground that way without having a lot of ourself, reserved or just like distrusting of it, right? Go all the way, go for it. As a Texas boy, you either go big or go home. That's what we say down south, and I live by that to the T. You go big or you go home. Go for it if you're gonna do it, because you're just gonna waste your time the rest of the time if you're not, So we got 3 new messages. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, you're all welcome. I love you all. But yeah, any other questions, Laura? If you have another one, or anybody else, before we no, before we end this live seminar, I'm gonna give you a couple moments. Yeah, I don't see any more. So, we're going to go ahead and close this. So, I just, I want to encourage everybody, motivate everyone. This is something within everyone's capacity. Everyone has the ability to learn and grow and learn how to, just learn how magical you are. It's really, really cool. So, I'm here for you. We're all are. Message the team. Reach out to us if you have any other questions that maybe you didn't want to express on here, and that's understandable. No judgment, no opinions. If you want to wait till after the streams to message your questions or to reach out about something, please do. We're open for that. And then we'll let everyone know when the first course will be scheduled, how to sign up for that, and everything. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see who shows up, and just, it's not a judgment thing. It's not a competition. Come for yourself, come for joy and fun and for healing, and that's the experience you're going to get out of it, okay? So I love you all. Take care of yourselves. I hope everyone has a beautiful evening, night, afternoon, wherever you are, and to hear from all of you soon, okay? Take care of yourselves.
Thank you, George.
Love you.
Love you, thank you.
Bye, George. Love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, George.
You're welcome. I love you.
Love you, Georgie. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank you. Bye bye.